It's a somebody show. Because or one of the episodes prior to this one, maybe not, was a very serious episode, or at least
This one's going to be
hilarious.
Hilarity. Yes.
Hilarity.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Speaking of which, I've been saying instead of the somebody show, or not saying, but I've been writing down whenever we take notes. I've got a little notebook here. I have a checklist that has one little thing on it, so I probably need to add to that checklist. But I've been shorthand writing TSS.
Right.
The somebody show.
Right.
So I got all the letters right. But in doing that, I thought maybe TSS stands for something. So I'll use Uncle Google, and I talked to my uncle.
Yeah.
And he told me that
only one thing shared those initials.
Yeah, surprisingly. Do you know what that is?
I do, and I'll tell you why. Should I tell you what it is, or should I tell you why I know what it is?
Let's hear both.
Well, the reason I know what it is because as a young man, when you're sitting on the toilet at your mother's house, there's only so many things you can read, right?
Sure.
So you read the Good Housekeeping magazine, and then you pick up the box of whatever you don't know what it is in that box, and you read the back of that box.
Lady napkins, they call them.
Lady napkins. And you read about TSS, which is toxic shock syndrome. Easy for me to say.
Toxic
So when you asked me, like, did you know what TSS was? I was like, bang, toxic shock syndrome.
You came out with it. Like, you were better than Uncle Google. Like if I had typed into you, like it would have been, you would have got faster results.
Yeah. So yes, I know what TSS is. Big fan, I guess.
So I don't know if we could keep using that, but it may help our views.
Hashtag TSS is going to be.
TSS. We have the highest lady, and we're also saying we have a lady with us today. Is going to be a guest, not you, but not that I know of.
Yeah.
Never had any kind of visual proof of that. But yeah, she's going to be with us. But we're having a bunch of lady guests.
A run of ladies coming. Next.
Yeah. So
we are.
We have plenty of lady napkins here in the drawer in case are needed.
And speaking of ladies, one of the benefits to having my lady produce our show, Forever Matt, is I get to bring some of my old segments back. So we're going to do Get to Know the Somebody show.
Are you kidding me?
One of the benefits to sleeping with the producer is I get to bring some of my stuff back.
That's good. That's good.
So we have a question for you from Bob and Glenside.
Okay, I have a question for you.
And Bob asks, well, he states, it's award season, right? Because we're coming up on all that.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever won an award for your quote-unquote acting? And he says, he put quote-unquote acting, and he says Razzies count, which is the golden raspberry, which I'm sure you're familiar with, I would assume. Yeah. Have you ever won an award for your acting?
This is true, Sean, actually. And I had tried to Google it since and can't find it, which you would think, if it was there once, it's probably still there somewhere. But they did a list, like top 100 list of bad guys in movie history.
Okay.
And I made the list from how high.
Really?
Yeah. It was deep on the list.
Right, but still top 100.
Maybe it was 150 or 500. I don't know what it was.
You earned it.
I was on the list, yeah.
Now, bad acting or just bad characters?
Just bad guy.
Oh.
Yeah. Bad guy. Thanks a lot. So yeah, Bob, or whatever his name was it Bob? I remembered your name, so you should like me a little more now. I don't know if that's an award.
It's a recognition
of
your work.
It could have been my mom that made the list, and she put me that deep on the list. You think she would have put me? No, but here's okay. So your question. Get to know somebody. Show. Sean, are you wearing socks?
I am, and I do most days.
Okay.
I don't necessarily have smelly feet, but big fan of the sock just to save the
Archie's butthole. Star of the show.
Save the shoe from smelling.
Archie butt.
And I'm a flip-flop guy.
Okay.
I begrudgingly admit it.
In the winter?
I mean, not necessarily in the winter, but if I'm running somewhere real quick, I'll throw a flip-flop on there.
Okay. Yeah, I like flip-flops.
Whatever I got,
Apparently it's bad for you to, your toes to, grab.
I think, and there's no support in those things, but whatever.
I like flip-flops. I couldn't wear them as a kid. I didn't have the toe dexterity to hold on to them.
I don't like the, we don't need to talk about flip-flops.
Okay, that's flip-flop talk. All right, now, let's go to commercial. We have a guest here. We should probably get to her.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. She's a very funny guest. You're going to love her. She's at least two things to talk about that are funny.
At least.
Yeah. Well, now one. Is that?
the producer got it before I did.
All right. Well, let's go to commercial. Let's get. We'll talk to her and her one thing she has to talk about that's funny. We'll be right back.
This is a blue-footed booby. Every year he returns to his partner in the Galapagos and performs the same elaborate dance to woo her. What a loser. Why go to all that effort for someone who doesn't care? Like you, with your insurance provider. Move to Chill instead and get the best deal from 14 different insurers. Don't be like this Bobby. Visit chill.ie and avoid the annual insurance dance.
We're back from commercial. I love these commercials.
Yeah.
I mean, they're fun.
We talked about, like, before when we used to do show prep, it's like, oh, we should probably know what the commercial is before we go to the commercial, but we
haven't done that yet. We're still trying to figure out how to do
show
the audio. We don't, well, we
the only show prep we do is, I'm going to add a camera this week. And I'm like, Chris, that's it's not show prep. But it looks like it's show prep. No.
It just adds to the
confusion.
The difficulty. Exactly. All right. Let's get our guest out here.
Please.
All right. Our first guest today has saved every single juice box she's ever drank from, and they are all empty. Please welcome Angela Cressor. Okay, the music's playing right now. Everyone's dancing. Look at everybody.
Hi.
All right, welcome back.
Thank you.
And I say welcome back. They're all saying, like, what do you mean welcome back? We've never seen Angela before. Wow, she looks so interesting. I can't believe he's saying welcome back and we haven't seen her. Why? We would have remembered. But we messed up your episode. It was our first big technical difficulty issue that we ran into, which we've run into a couple times since. Not as bad as yours, but welcome back. So thank you. Yeah,
Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, we had to pay you like a couple $100,000 to get back this time. Like, you're coming back. I'm paying you money.
I don't have commodities.
Yeah. Well, you're one of those things. I guess no, you both.
I don't get it.
Wow. No, wow. I told her before the episode started that I'm going to try to get her husband really mad at me. So it's weird.
Try to get one person to watch the episode. Just piss this one guy off.
Does he own any baseball bats? Is he a baseball player?
He's not a baseball player.
Okay. Well, she doesn't know how to swing a baseball bat then. I don't either though. So we have that in common.
He doesn't have a baseball bat. You don't know what he has.
Oh, right. He might have like a Glock. Uzi? Does he have an Uzi?
You're just gonna have to
Bazooka?
find out. Hopefully not.
All right, good. Any grenades? Smoke
I'm
bombs?
aware of.
Bottle rockets?
Wow. He's a very mysterious guy, so
Pop
you
rocks?
just never know.
Does he eat Pop Rocks? Does he like Pop Rocks? Hey, there's Archie's butthole. He just refuses to kind of, You okay with Archie? Do you like dogs?
I love Archie. I love dogs.
I heard you guys have a love-hate relationship.
No, we
Just a love?
Yeah,
Love?
fully love, yes.
So you came back because we had a really funny thing to talk about with you last time,
So
and we
funny,
want to
yeah.
talk about this again.
Yeah.
So not to get right into it, but you had something happen to you.
I did.
A couple years ago.
I did,
Right.
yes.
That I think several women have had, more than several, lots of women.
1 in 8,
One in
actually.
8 women,
1
really?
in 8 women, yes.
Wow. This is where we're going to put like a quiz, a poll
See
up,
if
like,
you
what do you think it
can
is,
guess
everybody?
what it is.
It's very funny.
And it's not toxic shock syndrome.
It's not. That's like, what is that? 1 in... That's not
don't
good.
know that
That's-
statistic.
yeah,
Although
that's
that has been a fear of mine.
Has it really?
And probably many women, I have to say.
I
It
don't
is
know.
a scary
Is it
idea.
a young woman, I would imagine, going through that at that time, you probably think like, oh shit.
Well, they had the warning label on the box, and you're like,
Yeah.
be careful.
Yeah.
You know.
Oof.
Yeah.
All right. So let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
Do you want to talk anything else before we get there?
No, I don't think so.
Let's go right.
Yeah, let's
Let's
just
right.
do it. Yeah, let's do it. Get into this
Right.
hilarious
Let's do it.
topic.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So tell us what's going on. What?
So, a couple of years ago, I was 32 at the time. I felt a lump on my breast, and I didn't really think anything of it. I was like, no big deal, I'll wait. And I called my gynecologist, made the appointment, and they're like, oh, we don't really have a time available except for this time, and I'm a teacher. So I was like, I'll wait till next month, no big deal. So I wait a month, and I go a month later, and she, feels the breasts and everything. And she says, this is not cancer. A lot of girls come in here and they think that they have cancer, but you're young. I'm telling you, this is not cancer. But we'll get it checked out. You can go get a mammogram, which girls my age don't do that, or women my age don't do that, typically.
Yeah.
And they will evaluate from there. She said, it's probably just a cyst. It's very common.
Yeah.
So that's what she told me.
You regret not betting your house, her house, on that diagnosis?
I should have called her back and been like, guess what? I switched gynecologists since then, clearly.
Yeah.
So I had to make my mammogram appointment, first time ever getting a mammogram.
Yeah.
And I was a little nervous about that because you know what a mammogram is?
That's the like
You
you.
should show us actually.
Oh, okay.
I can
on you.
demonstrate.
Okay. You ever been to the book?
2 books in
Basically,
between, right?
they take these like metal plates and they, swish it down.
But it's not the singing thing.
It's no.
Oh, okay.
That's a
It's not
different
a
kind of
singing
gram.
thing.
Singing.
Yeah.
It's not the devil star thing.
That's an anagram.
Anagram? No.
You're good with your grams, though.
Grams.
Yeah.
My gram is great. She loves to drink schnapps.
So I went to get
So
the
you-
mammogram.
Mammo.
Yes, which of course I had to wait. I don't even know how long, like a couple weeks for that.
Okay.
Get that appointment in.
Yeah.
It's funny because I think if guys had breast cancer and they had to wait that long, we would just start cutting stuff out ourselves. Like if somebody was like, I wouldn't want to wait. I would just start trying to utility knife.
Like James Franco, 8 weeks.
Yeah, cut your hand out. Yeah, 12 days,
days.
Men
whatever.
can get breast cancer. By
That
the
is
way.
true. I did.
So, yeah, you should be checking yourself as well. Any lumps in the pencil
timing.
area? Check it out. Along
had
with your
a,
other male parts.
There's a thing that happens for young adolescent boys. Did you have this where your nipple, you had the hard thing that showed up in your nipple around puberty?
Always hard.
No, not the nipple itself, but like in the areola. Is that what it's called? Areola, right? There's a thing that happens as boys go through puberty where they get this lumpiness in that tissue there. And I had that, and I was like weirded out by it as a kid. I remember being like, what is going on? I don't know. I think it has something to do with that we're all very DNA chromosomally like linked, right? I mean, there's just that one separate chromosome that makes you and me, right? So anyway, that happened.
Little science lesson.
That's my science with it. Here's one thing that makes you, me. That's pretty much it.
That one chromosome.
Here's it. So we're all men, we're all women. I'm sorry. So go ahead. Sorry.
So I went to get my mammogram done, which was, they just had to keep going back and taking more pictures and more pictures, which was very nerve-wracking. And then after that, they gave me an ultrasound, and they said I would have to see a breast surgeon.
Okay.
And I would have to wait a week. So I had to wait another week to see my breast surgeon. Actually, this is the first time I saw a breast surgeon, so it was within the same,
Wasn't there not multiple doctors that said not to worry about this, right? Or was it just the one doctor?
It was
that told-
at first the gynecologist who straight up said this is not cancer. And then when I saw the breast surgeon, and he was looking at my ultrasound, and usually they can tell if it's cancerous because they look at the margins, and if the margins are not even, jagged, then they can tell. And he said, well, there's this one little spot, so I'd like to do a biopsy, but if I could bet on it, I would bet that this is not cancer.
Oh, that's the guy you should have taken.
Yeah,
to see.
That is the guy, yes. And he was very nice, but I'm sure he won't be saying that
in
to
hindsight.
anybody ever again. I've never heard a doctor ever say that. It's funny because no doctors, they always say, oh, well, wait and see.
Yeah,
get your
exactly. They don't
results."
wanna
And
put their
two
foot in their mouth.
people,
I guarantee.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
who's that guy?
And it's just because I'm in my 30s and I don't have any family history of it, so so two of them. So a part of me was like, all right, I should be fine. I'll be
Two
good.
doctors' houses right now, so you should have.
You just have one teacher house.
One teacher house, one modest teacher house.
Two doctors.
And they're still practicing, telling everybody they don't have cancer when they have cancer.
Oh, that's the thing. They're practicing. They haven't, gotten to the professional
right.
ranks yet. They're not really playing yet. They're just still practicing.
Exactly.
Although I guess you're playing, you're practicing, you're playing. When do we ever get serious about anything? You're always either practicing or playing. Or
Because you're never perfect.
never. No such thing as perfection.
Exactly.
Well, I mean,
I think besides you.
come on. Thank you, Angela. I didn't say it. She did. All right. Let's talk about perfection. Your boobs.
Oh yes.
Sorry.
Yes. So my boobs are absolutely perfect now. At the time they were small.
Yeah.
So it was actually good for me because I could feel my lump.
Okay.
A lot of times women cannot.
Okay.
So the problem with being in your 30s and if you can't feel your lump is you might have something growing in you and you don't have a mammogram until they
Right, it's
suggest
too late.
in your 40s.
Why can't you feel the lump?
Some women can't because they're so small.
The lumps.
So
Gotcha.
the lumps,
Not
right?
The, not
Mine
the
was
boobs.
right, not the boobs. The lumps itself can be really small, so you might not be able to feel them. And the only way they can detect it is in a mammogram or an MRI, because not even mammograms are fully, they can't detect everything.
Right.
So because I was in my 30s, they were like, "Oh yeah, you'll be fine," and all that stuff. And then the breast surgeon called me. Even though I told him, I said, don't call me, just leave, and if I don't answer, just leave a message and tell me what it is. Like, I'm a teacher, I can't just answer my phone all the time.
Yeah.
And he called and left a message and said to call him back.
What I
At 6
told you to
o'clock
do.
at night, and that's when I knew. And he was like, yeah, I was surprised myself. And I was like, okay.
And just so you
that
know,
was
I
it.
lost money at the casino.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I did put my bet on it, and I lost. Yeah, so he said, you have cancer. And
How did you feel in the moment when that was it that sense of denial of like, or were you like, was it immediately like, oh, like your heart sank and?
Oh,
you're
definitely like the heart sank moment.
Yeah.
And I remember I took out a piece of paper and I said, well, what stage is it? And that was like the first thing I asked.
Okay.
And he was like, it's stage 2. And I was like writing everything down because I knew I would not remember anything. Like once I hung up that phone,
Yeah.
I knew I wouldn't remember
Right,
anything.
blackout on us. Yeah.
So I hung it up, and Brad wasn't even home at the time. And I don't even remember who I called first. I just remember like falling. I think I called Faith first, the lovely producer of the show. I'm pretty sure I called Faith first because I didn't want to tell my parents right away because, you know, it's devastating to hear that your child has cancer.
Yeah.
Like there was like certain people that I just wasn't ready for their reaction yet. Right. So I just bawled. I like crouched in my kitchen floor and like bawled my eyes out and called my best friend, and she came over. And waited until like my husband was getting home.
We're gonna do a commercial, and then we're gonna come back, and we're gonna find out how much better your boobs are now.
Yes.
And then kind of more about like how we want people to be educated on this and what they can do.
Sounds good.
We'll be right back from commercial. That's my robot voice. Bye.
Are you too busy to do your monthly breast self-exam? Unsure of the right technique? My name is Cam. I'd like to help. Let me examine your breast for you. Absolutely free. I'm highly trained and highly motivated, so call the number on your screen. Call takers are standing by. So put your breasts in my hands. Let Cam do your breast exam.
We're back.
Okay. We're back.
We are, honestly. We just came back.
I believe you.
See? Can you tell?
Oh yeah. It's,
Yeah. Looks totally
exactly
different.
the same. Yeah.
Yeah. No. That was a commercial we just had. It was probably awesome, and it probably had something to do with boobs. I can tell you that. So, speaking of boobs, let's talk about boobs some more.
Yeah, let's do it.
And not like people like Sean and I, idiots, because they guess they call idiots boobs, which is a weird thing, right? You call them like you boob. Right? Did you think about that when you're going under the knife right before they put the thing on? You're like countdown, and you're like, doctor, why do they call idiots boobs? Did you say that? That's not what you said?
No.
Okay.
It's very funny. Actually,
Is it very funny?
Story.
Is it okay?
It actually is a funny story to talk about right before my surgery.
This is a hilarious episode.
This is so funny. So before my surgery, obviously it was very dramatic, and I was saying goodbye to my family and crying because I really haven't had like a major surgery before. I just had my wisdom teeth out.
Yeah.
So,
Similar.
naturally I was really
those
nervous.
adolescent boys, they love to fondle wisdom teeth.
Well, technically.
Oh, yes, they do, with their teeth, with their tongue, right? That's what I used to do when I used to kiss girls when I first learned how to kiss. I would touch their wisdom teeth with my tongue to see.
Oh, that was the
That's why I didn't have a lot of girlfriends.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Understandable.
It's absolutely disgusted. Which yours was, you were just much better at concealing your disgust
I'm
just
in
now.
front of the cameras,
Yeah, exactly. All right, so sorry.
So I was getting wheeled back, and they asked me what music I would like to listen to before they put me to sleep.
Biggie Smalls.
And I had a nice one, and she was like rubbing my back and everything. And I was like, no, it's okay. They're like, no, really, like, what do you want to listen to? And I was like, Backstreet Boys. And they're like, okay, all right. And they put on I Want It That Way.
Okay.
And the assistants that were prepping for surgery literally lip synced.
Lip sunk?
Lip sunk.
Sank?
Yeah. Well, sang. I guess. The Backstreet Boys song to me, and that's what I remember.
You sure you weren't hallucinating?
When I was falling asleep.
Okay.
If I were hallucinating, Nick Carter would
Oh, okay.
nothing.
Just don't. You hope Aaron Carter doesn't show up with his
no.
face tattoos.
Or Jimmy Carter.
No more Carters. Nick Carter. Good to
That's
go.
the Carter we want.
So that's what I listened to before falling asleep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, did they mark you up because obviously they make sure they take the correct boob?
Yes.
So, did they draw on the other one not to take, or how do they designate which one to?
So before they always say, is it the left? And so you have to be correct, right? You can't be right.
You're right. You're right or my right.
So it was my left
Your
boob,
left or my
and
left.
they said, is it your left? We're going with your left, and I had to be
Correct.
Correct. Right? So they're marking it all up and everything so that they know which one. Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
That's
Hilarious.
It is hilarious.
It's hilarious. Yeah. Marking it up with Sharpie.
Wow. All right, so the surgery went well. I can only
Surgery
assume.
went well. They didn't know if it spread until the surgery because
Okay.
they had to take out lymph nodes and check the lymph nodes to see if there was cancer in the lymph nodes. So I went in there not knowing if I was going to need more treatment like chemo and all of that stuff. But luckily,
Yeah.
nothing spread.
Okay.
So they got it all out and they called like my family and they let me know nothing spread. So all I had to do after that was I had to wait to hear from my oncologist and all that good stuff. But I didn't have to do any chemo or anything or radiation or
That's good. That's
any of the extra
a silver
treatments.
lining.
Yes,
right?
definitely. I was more nervous for the chemo, quite honestly, than I was for the surgery.
Yeah. And you have the tumor in like a little bottle of formaldehyde?
Yeah, they let me keep it. Yeah, no.
Is it, you didn't name it? Okay. All
They
right.
had to send the tumor out to get
Okay.
it what they call an oncotype test,
Okay.
and they had to see like how aggressive the tumor was.
Oh, okay. A real
And,
fucking asshole, or just like okay.
It wasn't an aggressive one.
Okay, good.
It wasn't an aggressive one, so they called me, and now I'm on medication to keep it away for 10 years.
Okay.
But because it wasn't aggressive, I didn't have to do any chemo. Because if it was an aggressive tumor, they probably would have suggested.
Do you like a
that I get
restraining order on this?
chemo.
The medication.
Keep it out. Yeah, exactly.
bad
It's
joke,
my
I'm
keep
sorry.
cancer away pill. Yeah.
All right. So you are now cancer free.
I am now cancer free. Yes.
Okay. And
Just about 2
Knock
years,
on
right?
wood.
Yeah, and
Yes.
your 2
My
years coming
up on
my 2-year anniversary will be March 12th.
And what's the year? How many years until it's like it's
11 years,
Is
I
it 11
believe,
years when they say that's
cancer-free
the
when
full,
you're
like remission?
Allegedly,
Yeah.
you have
Is that in
just
remission?
As much chance of getting cancer after 11 years as
You
a
would
regular
normally,
person.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you want to reach that 10 years like big, and then after the 10 years.
So is there anything now that you do as a preventative or anything to kind of help besides the medication?
Yeah, so they have to check me every 6 months. So I go and I get a mammogram, and then I get an MRI, and then I get a mammogram, and then an MRI every 6 months. I see the oncologist, I see my breast surgeon. But besides that, I still check my other boob because I decided to keep that one.
Yeah.
It's a healthy breast.
Oh yeah,
so
we
I
didn't get
kept
there.
it.
Yeah, that's an option, right? They're
Yes,
like, take them
that
both,
is
or
a very hard decision for people to make, and it's
can
your
imagine.
decision. And they let you know, like your options. You can cut both of them, double mastectomy. You can get one single mastectomy. And I went back and forth for a long time. And that's a decision that you have to make. You know, like your doctors tell you like some statistics and things. But because I kept the healthy breast, and that's why I have to continue to get the test. So if
Okay.
I got both of them, I wouldn't have to do that. But
Gotcha.
kinda like
And again, you
getting
didn't have a family
checked
history
in.
of it, so it wasn't
Exactly,
wasn't
yeah.
something at the time. I guess we should say you didn't have a family history of
Yes.
it, and then so you probably felt more comfortable.
Yes, and then the one breast surgeon said, why get rid of a healthy breast if you don't have to, kind of thing. I got the genetic testing done. We didn't have any of that.
Okay.
So besides that, I do my self exams, which ladies you should be doing. They say
Well, we should have had a ball here so you could. It's a
show
circle,
how to
correct?
do
Right?
it.
You kind
Yep,
of start
use your fingers. They say
like
it's better
kinda
in
like
the
a boob.
shower.
just like a boob. Yeah, it's exactly like a boob, Chris.
There's nothing.
You
boob?
have to
Chris has
check
never
your
seen a boob
armpits
before.
too.
Okay.
Check your armpits.
Okay.
They say feel it on the first. So the first of every month, just feel your boobs.
Feel it on the first.
Feel it on the first. Yep.
It's a good motto.
Yeah,
it's coming
that will
up on
help
the
you
first.
remember.
Tuesday.
Yeah,
Tuesday's a big day.
Tuesday. Feel it on the first. Yes, March 1st.
Nice. So what message do you have? Is there anything you want to share with besides feeling it on the first? Anything else for the ladies out there?
Yes.
And some
So,
men?
Besides, you know your own body best, and if you feel like there is something wrong and you want to get tested, be an advocate for yourself. But also something I learned was the products that women use have a lot of chemicals in them.
Paraben's bad, right?
Parabens, very bad.
I learned
So
that. That's one
is-
thing I've learned since,
yes.
since
And
all this.
there's lots of stuff with parabens still in it, but they're catching on. And then you see products that are like, no parabens. So you'll see things like that too. But parabens is linked to a hormone disruptor, so that can be linked to breast cancer. But there's also things like phthalates and sulfates, and that's linked to like infertility and birth defects. So really checking, like you would check your ingredients mostly on food, you should check the ingredients of your chemicals or of your products that you're using every day. And I know that's like overwhelming because you use a lot, especially women. You use a ton of stuff. Think about your body wash, your face wash, your shampoo, your conditioner. But I really started focusing on like the things I use every day. So like my face wash, I use it multiple times a day. I want to make sure that that's clean.
Yeah.
And I feel like there was something I wanted to say with that, but
You'll remember. We'll sit here. We'll wait.
So just checking. Oh, this is what I wanted to
See, I knew it.
See?
I was going to bet my house
Thanks
on
for
that
the
you
wait
would
time. I
remember.
appreciate it. So Europe has over 1,300 chemicals banned in women's products. Guess how much the U.S. has?
2.
13.
Oh, you're closer.
Ooh.
11.
11.
Always wins.
11. So 11 to 1,300. So that means that there's lots of stuff out there that's really dangerous.
Do we know
to using.
if breast cancer occurrences are higher in America than they are in
I
Europe?
don't know, but that would be interesting. And infertility would be interesting too, because that's a big thing as well. That would be an interesting study.
Yeah, let's do it.
I
Let's do the
encourage
somebody
you
show.
to
We'll switch the
study
show.
that.
Yeah, we're gonna switch the whole show format now. We're gonna study what that is.
God, could you imagine if we were giving medical advice? That would be a fun show.
That's good. Anything else that we want to? Because I got other questions that don't have anything to do with boobs.
I think that's it. Besides, I decided to go with the constructive surgery, so I've got 2 beautiful boobs.
And one tattoo, right?
And one
right.
nipple tattoo.
One
So
nipple
I
tattoo.
had to get rid of my nipple because that's where my lump was. It was very close to my
Okay.
nipple. Some
Yeah.
people can keep their nipple depending on where the lump is. And I got my first tattoo ever was of a nipple.
There you go.
Yep.
Mine too.
How many parts of the boob are there, though? I mean, so it's the areola, the nipple, and then I
Well,
guess
you
is
could
it
have it
because you
like-
said there's lymph nodes in there, right? So is that like part of just the tissue?
Yes, and then you can have it off to the side. You could have it more close to your armpit.
Okay.
You have all your lymph nodes
So
in your
like-
armpit area. So they really should be checking. If your gynecologist is not checking your armpit area, then you should be asking them.
Then they're probably a proctologist.
Then they're probably my gynecologist. Yeah.
If your gynecologist is checking your butt, sorry.
But maybe this applies to you too.
Yeah, no.
Check
believe me.
your pecs and your balls and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. Check the balls.
Seriously.
Second, 2 for 2. On the second,
On the
check
second
the 2.
and more, yeah.
2
Oh,
for
there
2.
you go.
There you go.
That's
Look at you.
There you go.
I don't know if that's a
See?
thing or not.
Wait,
Yeah.
I say start it.
Let's do it. 2 for 2, boys. I had a golf thing that I was trying to start. We did play a golf tournament that my friends and I started called Crush Your Balls. That was the name of the golf tournament. And then we thought we should do this for charity. What's a great charity? Testicular cancer. Crush your balls. And we never went anywhere with it. So you can steal that. Anyone who wants to do that because it's really good.
Let's go out. That counts, I guess.
We had like a tee that branched up with 2 good golf balls. Crush your balls.
See, that's good.
Yeah.
You should really do that.
Yeah, someday. All right, here's my questions for you that are not breast cancer related.
Okay.
Because we've had enough funny for the day. Are you a calves girl or a shoulders girl? She's like, what does that mean?
Like on men or women?
Either way.
I mean, you're married to a man.
Yeah,
So I
true.
assume that throughout your life,
I
you
can
had.
honestly say that I've never looked at a man's calves.
Really?
In that kind of way.
I look at him all the time.
Shoulders. I would say shoulders.
Okay, shoulders. Yeah, broad. Shoulder. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. You have any crazy dreams? Like not like I wanted to be a ballerina at a.
I thought you were talking about like dreams. Like
No, I am. That's what.
sleeping.
Yeah,
That's what I am
Oh,
saying.
oh.
But I read the question, and realized she's going to think I'm asking some what are your wildest dreams that you wish could? No.
Well, actually, the sleeping dreams are much easier to answer.
Yeah.
I had a dream last night.
Good.
I had a dream that I went to get a tattoo.
Good.
Another one.
Yep.
A nipple?
And and I.
That's my way of
There you
cutting
go,
it.
then you know.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get like a breast cancer ribbon.
Yep.
But I went to some tattoo clinic thing, and they just put a whole bunch of creepy faces all on my back. And then I literally had to go home and tell my husband Brad I have this.
I didn't ask for
I don't
this.
even know what this is.
Okay.
Interesting. I do always have crazy.
Yeah. All right. Good. Let's see. What? Any childhood stories that you have that? We're gonna sit here and we're gonna wait in silence. For childhood stories.
Stories.
First
I
one
like
that
when
comes
you
to
just
mind.
drop-
Doesn't even have to be crazy.
I love the drop in the question on the
First-
guest with no prep. I love it.
Yeah. First one that comes to mind. Anything.
Comes to mind.
You forgot your book
Killed
one
that
day
guy
for
one
school. No, she's not a murderer type.
Not quite the murderer type.
You
I
forgot-
was a spoiled kid.
Okay. Yeah. Really? You were like, Mom, I want 100 jelly beans that are red.
Oh, and they would get it for me.
They get it
Absolutely,
for you.
yeah.
Yeah, that's how my kids
My
are.
sister and I are 13 years apart, so I was like the baby. Speaking of my sister, I forgot to mention this. A year and a month after I got my surgery,
Okay.
she was getting the same surgery.
Yeah, she
Wow.
got
So she
diagnosed
was
after. Her
diagnosed-
older sister was diagnosed after.
Wowzers.
with no family history. So
Well,
one in
I'd
8
say
women,
you
like
have
we
family
said.
history
Well,
now.
now you,
One
yeah,
in 8
exactly.
women.
You guys
yeah,
are-
now we have family history. Yeah,
Yeah, wow.
It's that
But,
king of Prussia water.
there's
what it
something,
is.
something in the environment. I think.
Yeah. It's. I always wonder about that with cancer diagnosis. It's like how many people died in history before we really understood what cancer
cancer
was?
was.
Like that were
Mm-hmm.
like just dying of like unknown causes, or like they were just
People also died when they were 30 too, so they never had a chance to get
That's
cancer.
true. Yeah. My doctor told me that
Every man,
everyone,
every man will get prostate cancer if they live long enough.
Live long enough.
Wow.
Yeah.
Check your balls.
Check
Then
your
the
backside.
backside. I'm gonna need you to go
Two for two.
check the backside thing. I can't do that myself, so you just volunteered. Yes.
Aren't you so lucky?
That's why we get married. And that's why you need someone in your life to check areas of your body you can't.
It's a special kind of love.
Yeah. Well, Angela, it was awesome having you back.
Thank
really
you.
appreciate you actually coming back. I fully expected you to be like, I don't know, I didn't like it the first time. Why would I do it again?
I
But,
appreciate it.
no,
I'm
no.
glad I could be
we're,
here.
We're glad to have you, and we're glad to hear your story, and we're glad that hopefully the 14 or 15 people that watch our show are hearing your story too. because
Checking
every
themselves.
person helps.
Yeah.
Yes, check yourself.
Yeah,
Pass
check
it along.
before
Feel it
you-
on the first. Two
Yes,
for two.
2 for 2. There you go.
And then happy birthday, because by the time this episode airs, your birthday will have come and gone. And then
Oh,
happy
really?
2-year anniversary.
Oh, there you go.
Ew.
Yeah, look at
Yes,
that.
lots to celebrate.
Yes.
It's exciting.
March.
Exciting
Exciting.
stuff. Awesome. Well, good to see you.
Thank you.
Fist bump. We're going to go to
very
commercial
much.
now, and
ブラバストの強い味方ワコールスポーツ
we are back. Somebody show.
Yeah.
TSS.
TSS.
What you got here?
So this, Angela brought this. This was a game that they I guess they had a little goodbye party for her
boob.
Her boob.
Okay.
And we constructed this. This is a little.
So you used your carpentry skills to build
I
this.
said, cardboard and browse. Two of my favorite materials.
Yeah, I've come into jobs before where you're like nailing like a broad to the wall. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, I'm doing carpentry, man. Just you don't know what you're talking about. Get out of here.
But yeah, so we built this, and then you throw your.
Oh, can I try?
Yeah, please. It's easier than or harder than it looks. I got one.
Archie's over like,
Archie's
this
in the
ball's
car.
flying across the room. What do I do? Yep, that's hard. That's
Yeah,
not easy.
but-
Oh, you made one.
I made one.
You win.
Yeah, I won
As
the
usual.
episode. That's it. There.
So we talked to Angela about a weird dream,
We did.
which it's a weird dream. It was strange. I can imagine. Do you have weird dreams?
Never.
Ever?
No.
Not
I mean,
one?
Not recently, no.
I had a buddy who had a dream he worked at CVS. And that
Okay.
was the extent of the dream. He just stood there ringing people up as a cashier at CVS.
Just mundane.
And if you work at CVS, I'm not saying that's weird or bad. I'm just saying for a guy that doesn't work at CVS to have a dream that he's working at CVS.
It's a very strange dream.
I had a dream the other night.
Yeah.
that first of all, I always wanted to be on Saturday Night Live.
Okay.
SNL, TSS.
TSS, that's where it all comes from.
Yeah, and so I've had this dream that I'm with Beck, whatever his name is. Did the AT&T commercial, was on SNL for a while. I don't think he's on anymore. And his buddy Kyle, I think is his name.
Yeah, the guy.
We're hanging
Kyle
out.
Mooney, I believe.
Kyle Mooney, that's
Yes.
it. Both awesome, very funny. I really like you guys. But anyway, in the dream, they liked me too, and we were having a great time. And they were like, "You're not," because I was saying I'm too. They were like, "You should try out for the show, audition for the show." I'm like, "I'm too old now, I can't do that." They're like, "No," and they're being really cool with me. And then they eventually leave, and it's just me. And then some of the crew members for SNL come over, and they're talking to me. And one of them's like, "Hey, you have some ketchup crusted in your nostril." I'm like, "Are you kidding me?"
The whole time.
What? The whole time I'm talking to these guys.
How do you not feel that?
Yeah, and then I'm thinking, I woke up and thinking about that dream, like, why would I have a dream that ended that way? Like, why is that kind of a nightmare? I don't know.
I think it's just your subconscious telling you that you're just going to fail at everything, even in your dreams.
That was the episode.
That's it.
I think, you have anything else?
No, according to the board, that's everything. We nailed all those things.
Yeah, we didn't.
No, we didn't.
The fucking first thing up there, the number one thing we didn't talk about. Will you please, no one's going to see this now.
Yeah.
We like and subscribe. You don't have to like it, just subscribe.
Subscribe to the show.
Subscribe
We're
to
trying
the
to get
show.
to 100 so we can have a very special guest.
Yes.
Who's pretty much a diva and said she won't come on the show until we have 100 subscribers.
That's true. Yeah, and
I
we're
made
at
that
68. Well, we were at 68. Hopefully by now we're at more. But, yeah. So we are all somebody, and we can't wait to meet you all. It's good. That's it. All right, freeze frame, high five.